I'm investing $100,000 into my favorite opportunities because of something called TAM. TAM is the reason why a company like Tesla can logically and reasonably justify a $10+ trillion valuation over the next 10 years. Yep, I did just say the words logically and reasonably in the same sentence as Tesla at a $10+ trillion market cap. I'll show you the math in a few moments. So let me tell you why I'm going ham on TAM. Class is in session. Steve Antonioni here, back with another episode of Cash College. Today, I'm talking about why I'm investing $100,000 of my hard-earned money into various specific stocks, ETFs, and cryptocurrencies. And yes, this is my hard-earned cash. As many of you will know who've been watching the channel for a long period of time, you'll know that I grinded my butt off to get this money and completely changed my life. If you're new and you're interested in that story, I made a new playlist on the channel that chronicles important moments along my journey, and I'm really proud of these videos, so check them out after watching this one. And also subscribe so you can continue to follow along. So in today's video, let's go over what TAM is, how it applies to my top 4 favorite investments, and as promised, I'll show you the math on how Tesla can justify a 10x in the next decade. TAM stands for Total Addressable Market. Now, this is a super important concept to understand as an investor. In essence, TAM means what's the size of a market for a particular product or service. For example, here is a bathtub, and here is a beautiful lakefront. Which of these bodies of water would be a better idea for me to dive into? What are you, crazy? I'm not breaking my neck for YouTube, only my back. Working hard. Shout out Stompin' Tom Connors and his absolute banger, Tilsonburg. So generally speaking, just like diving into a larger body of water is better, the larger the TAM, the better. And that's because there's more money to be made. Now let me ask you a question. I'm really curious to know what you think. What do you think is a bigger market, the smartphone market or the market for video streaming services like Netflix? Looking at the total market for smartphones, it's estimated to be around $378 billion as of 2020. Apple, a company in this market, has a total market cap or total size of around $2.5 trillion. Now, if we look at the total market for streaming services, as of 2020, it was estimated to be around $50 billion. Netflix, a company in this market, has a size of around $300 billion. So the smartphone market is much larger. In fact, it's about 7.56 times larger according to these numbers. Is it any coincidence that the market cap of Apple is about 8 times higher than Netflix? Well, it makes sense. Apple is participating in a much larger market than Netflix is. Now, of course, you could say Apple also sells other products, and that is true, but the point here is that the larger the market, the larger the TAM, more money to be made. So now let's talk about how the concept of TAM applies to my top 4 favorite investments right now. By the way, last week I posted a video which goes in detail breaking down my entire investment portfolio. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'll put a card in the corner and definitely check that out after this one. First, let's talk about Tesla. Now, the market that Tesla is most actively competing in right now anyway is the automobile market. The global vehicle market has an estimated value of $3.6 trillion in 2021. Wow, that's huge. That's much bigger than the smartphone market, you may have noticed. And it makes sense, right? Vehicles are something that almost everybody on Earth uses on almost a daily basis. In fact, there's estimated to be about 1.4 billion cars on the road globally. And the major difference between a smartphone and a vehicle is, of course, the price tag. I think the vehicle market is super interesting because there's both such a high quantity of products and the product has such a high price tag associated with it. There's very few markets that have both of those qualities together. But as some of you will know, Tesla does not stop there. Over the next few years, they will be more aggressively entering the energy market as well. The renewable energy market is estimated to be around $1.9 trillion by 2030. Now, I think this is actually super conservative. I mean, That's because the renewable energy market won't be the renewable energy market by 2030, I don't think. It'll just be the energy market. At some point over the next few decades, we'll stop calling renewable energy, and we'll just call it energy, because that'll be the majority of what we're using for energy. And once again, as some of you will still know, Tesla does not quite stop there. Sorry, 1 second, just need to sip some water here. My throat's a bit parched talking about all the markets that Tesla is in. That's better. They are also entering the insurance market, which is valued at $761 billion. And they're also entering the ride-hailing market, which ARK Invest estimates will be somewhere around, just 1 second here, let me make sure I get the number right. I'm so sorry, these numbers are crazy. 11 to 12 trillion dollars by 2030. Wow. Okay. I mean, I see it being a massive market, but like, wow, that's a lot. It's funny because in my quick kind of back of the napkin Tesla evaluation that I'll show you near the end of this video, the robo-taxi component was actually the largest component of the valuation. Coincidence? I think not. So all in all, that leaves us with a TAM of around $17 trillion for Tesla. And important to note here that I'm actually excluding some of the potential markets that Tesla can also enter. Some of you will know that they're also looking at using their Dojo as a service, perhaps licensing that out to companies in the deep learning space. Now, ARK estimates this opportunity to, here, let me just make sure I have the number right, and throat's a bit parched again. $30 trillion. Please, I'm trying to drink my water here. At this rate, I'm not gonna get any, and I'm gonna be like Dumbledore in the Horcrux cave. Water. Okay, let's just move on to my other investments. The next stock investment I like a lot is Coinbase. When it comes to estimating the TAM of Coinbase, it's a little bit trickier because the market is literally being built before our eyes. Cryptocurrencies, smart contracts, DAOs, oracles, these are just some of the applications of blockchain technology that are going to work its way into our world. Unfortunately, it's really hard to find data to base estimation of the TAM off of here because most crypto market estimates are ridiculously low. I mean, I'm seeing stuff like $1.5 billion market for 2020. Yeah. Coinbase made that much net income in 1 quarter. And net income, I'm not talking about revenue, net income, and not the whole year, 1 quarter. So yeah, I tend to think the cryptocurrency market's a little bit bigger than 1.5 billion. I honestly don't think a competent and serious full market analysis has been done on the entire cryptocurrency market today because I think we're honestly still a little bit too early. I don't think most people have paid this a ton of attention yet. So instead, a quick and easy way to get a general idea might be to look at the total market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies. Currently, this is around $3 trillion today, but growing exponentially. In my opinion, this will easily surpass $10 trillion by 2030. And I think honestly, that's being pretty conservative. Why? Well, let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, another one of my favorite investments, currently has a market cap of around $1.2 trillion. What's Bitcoin's TAM? Well, I would say that's around $12 trillion. Why? Because that's the market cap of gold. Bitcoin's next major milestone will be to flip gold, to have a value greater than gold. Bitcoin's already 10% of the market cap of gold, and I only see this increasing with time. Now, if Bitcoin were to one day reach a market cap of $12 trillion, then that would definitely mean that the entire cryptocurrency market cap would be worth much more than $12 trillion, thus increasing Coinbase's total opportunity. Now, for my fourth top investment, in no particular order, by the way, Ethereum. Evaluating TAM here is also a bit tricky, but I think unmistakably huge. To value Ethereum's potential TAM, I would ask the question, how much is the internet worth? According to Cisco 7 years ago, it was worth $19 trillion. Today, I'm seeing estimates more in the $30 trillion range. The easiest way to think about Ethereum, in my opinion, is to think of it as like the base layer of the blockchain world on which applications will be built on top of. Just like how you can think of the internet as being a base layer, which we then build applications on top of. I honestly think there's a chance that one day Ethereum will flip Bitcoin, which means that Ethereum could have a potential TAM in excess of $12 trillion. So you'll notice that all 4 of these investment opportunities have TAMs in excess of $10 trillion, but they're valued much less than that today. And remember, video streaming, a market that seems massive, only has a TAM of around $50 billion. That's nothing compared to the markets that I just talked about, and that's why I am so excited about these assets. And now, as promised, here's quick back of the napkin math of how Tesla can justify a $10+ trillion valuation over the next decade. Now, I highly encourage you guys, whenever you're looking at investment opportunities, to do something like this, to even just do a quick kind of back of the napkin calculation like this, just to get a ballpark idea of the opportunity that you're looking at. Starting with their automotive business, Tesla has told us that they aim to sell 20 million cars by 2030. Now, almost no one believes this is actually possible, so let's cut the bears some slack here and say Tesla only gets 70% of this goal. If we assume an average selling price of $30,000, that means they would generate $420 billion here. I swear to God, this was just a coincidence. Using a margin here of 20%, that leaves us with $84 billion in annual profit. But their auto business does not stop there. With Tesla Insurance and full self-driving, I'm anticipating that they're probably going to package these two things together into one simple monthly subscription service, priced somewhere roughly around $250 per month is my guess. Currently, there's about 1.4 billion cars on the road. If we assume 10% of those will be Teslas in the future, and then shave that number down even more to be conservative, we can say about 100 million Teslas will be driving around the roads in a decade's time. 100 million vehicles times $250 per month for insurance and full self-driving is $300 billion. Now, if we assume a 90% profit margin on this because it's software, we get $270 billion in profit from this. Next, a super quick, super conservative look at energy. Assuming a ramp of 300K to 800K power walls by 2022 and then 50% growth after that, we get 31 million power walls sold annually by 2031. At an average selling price of $7,000, we get $217 billion in revenue from this. And then at a 20% margin, this is $44 billion in profit. Third, we have a robotaxi. This is the big one. With our 100 million Tesla fleet I mentioned earlier, if we assume just 10% is in the robotaxi fleet by 2031 and use ARK Invest model of 100,000 miles per vehicle at a price of 25 cents per mile, we get $2.5 trillion of revenue. Slap a 50% margin on this as per ARK, and we have a $1.25 trillion annual profit here. With just these 3 segments alone, that's $1.648 trillion of annual profit by 2031. If we put a super conservative multiple on this of 10 times, that gives us a market cap of $16.48 trillion. Now, this does not include Tesla selling Dojo as a service for deep learning. I see this as a massive call option on Tesla. Now, I can definitely provide more details on this quick valuation of Tesla in the future in another video if you guys want. Let me know in the comments down below if you're interested. And so with all that said, that's why I'm going ham on TAM. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please do. I'd love to have you join along in this very fun journey, and I hope to see you all again soon.